Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Misty. I'm a professional boudoir photographer and empowerment specialist. And today I'm going to be talking about something really important to me, which is how to start your self-love journey, or where to start your self-love journey if you don't even know where to begin. So let's get started. Because we're talking about self-love today, I thought it would be really fitting if I went for a little walk and took myself on a little date to a park. So that's where we are. I'm actually just right by a rose garden. It's a really beautiful day and I'm really excited to have this little chat with you guys. Also getting eaten alive by bugs right now. There's so many mosquitoes. I don't know if you guys can see them. They're just like buzzing around. So self-love is kind of a bit of a buzzword right now. I think for mostly all the right reasons. I think it's a really important buzzword and something really important to have a conversation about and to start normalizing and to start talking about more and just having a more active dialogue about it. So basically, as soon as we can start thinking for ourselves from the moment we're born and from the moment we start articulating our own thoughts, we are taught to think that we're not enough and that the world expects us to look and perform and act a certain way in order for us to be perceived as valuable within our society. If you just think about how often you see babies and little kids just like jiggling and dancing and really like celebrating their bodies and themselves, you'd know that this isn't something we're born with. It's something that we absorb along the way and that we're taught by our culture. When I talk about self-love, I'm talking about inner self-love, but I'm also talking about loving our bodies and body self-love. I think that it is really important to love ourselves from the inside out, but that it is also important to focus just on body love because our bodies are the only tangible representations we have of ourselves. We can't touch and hold our conscious, we can't touch and hold and hug our souls. So I think that learning to love our bodies is really an important step, and learning to love ourselves as an entire unit. So our society teaches us to constantly be at war with our bodies, to constantly be finding something to change, something that needs to be enhanced, something that's just not good enough. So we're constantly being told that just as we are, we're not enough, and that's not okay. So through self-love, we can learn how to just shed those thoughts and to push away that negative messaging. One thing I do want to preface is that self-love is not a place, it's not a noun. It is a verb, so it is an action word. It's not a place to arrive at. It's a journey and a process to always constantly be evolving and growing, and it exists in the actions that we take towards ourselves every day. So this video is for everyone who might be a little bit tired of hearing the word self-love just thrown about every day. It seems just everywhere we look these days, which is great, but also can be a little bit tiring if you don't know where to start on your journey and you're just feeling kind of overwhelmed by this concept. Self-love might feel like a really big, daunting mountain that you have to climb and you don't even know where to start, and you can't even imagine embarking on this journey and just starting. The mountain is too tall, too terrifying, too freaking steep to climb on your own by yourself, and you don't even have the right shoes. So how the heck are you even supposed to start this? How are you supposed to start climbing this mountain? This is gonna get really cheesy. Wait for it. I'm gonna tell you what boots you need to start climbing your self-love mountain. That way you can feel a little bit more prepared, a little bit more ready to embark on this journey in whatever way you feel fit and whichever way you're ready to tackle it. Boop. Let's get started talking about what we need to start our lifelong commitment to loving ourselves. Told you it was going to get cheesy. Now we're going to talk about putting on your boots of self-acceptance. So I'm putting this at step one because self-acceptance is something that we need in order to progress on our self-love journey, but I don't think it's a place that we want to inevitably stay at forever. We can't embark on the journey without it. We absolutely need it, hence why I'm referring to it as our boots, which is a metaphor I'm probably not going to continue for very long because it's very cheesy and campy. So I'm going to quote one of my favorite authors from one of my favorite books, Sonia Renee Taylor, from The Body Is Not an Apology, because she just words self-acceptance so perfectly and how we need it, but how we can evolve so much farther than just a baseline of acceptance. So if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it. It's absolutely beautiful and full of so much amazing information about self-love and loving bodies, our own body and all of the bodies that exist around us in this world, and how to share space with each other and how to create a better world through radical self-love. So highly, highly recommend. Too often, self-acceptance is used as a synonym for acquiescence. We accept the things we cannot change. We accept death because we have no say over its arbitrary and indifferent arrival at our door. We have personal histories of blind acceptance. We have accepted lackluster jobs because we were broke. We've accepted lousy partners because their lousy presence was better than the hollow aloneness of their absence. We practice self-acceptance when we have grown tired of self-hatred, but can't conceive of anything beyond a paltry tolerance of ourselves. What a thin coat to wear on this weather-tossed road. Famed activist and professor Angela Davis said, "I'm no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept." We can change the circumstances that have had us settle for self-acceptance. I assure you there is a richer, thicker, cozier blanket to carry through the world. There is a realm infinitely more mind-blowing. It's called radical self-love. So we need to become well-practiced in accepting ourselves so that we can go beyond that and fully embrace and celebrate our true authentic selves. Self-acceptance is a great place to rest when we're having bad days, and days where the self-love journey is just really difficult, because we will have those. That's totally normal and natural. There is such a thing as toxic positivity, and by no way am I advocating for that. So I think having that established baseline of just being grateful and accepting of who you are is a great thing to fall back to when you're having those really hard days. But on those good days, there is so much more than just acceptance, and we can transcend that and go beyond that and reach those heights of radical self-love. How do you reach self-acceptance? How do you get there when right now you're just not feeling like you're there yet, or like it feels like a really far place to get to in terms of either just inner self-acceptance or outer and accepting your body just the way it is? So these are a couple things that I have found that have helped me on my journey when I wanted to just begin to accept exactly as I am in this moment, in this vessel. So I like to say affirmations daily. This can either be done in the written form, so you can write them down in your journal if you're a journaler, or you can meditate on affirmations if you are a meditator. So you can just come up with an affirmation that you need to hear that day or that you want to invite more of into your life. Some of my favorite ones are, I am good enough, I am perfect just the way I am, I invite self-love into my life, and others. There's so many good ones. You can look these up online, or you can come up with your own if you are feeling really creative. Knowing that you are enough just the way you are. If this is a hard one to have, a hard one to come to terms with in your toolbox, you can also make this one into an affirmation to invite it into your life. Another way to reach self-acceptance is to celebrate your successes, no matter how small. I think in our society we are so used to focusing on the negative because we're told that we have to change and enhance who we are, and we forget that we should be celebrating all of our successes, even if they seem trivial to you. Celebrate it and make it a big deal and make it this amazing positive thing in your life. Practice gratitude and focus on all of the amazing things you have about yourself and around you that you have to be grateful for. If all of this seems really hard, one really easy thing that I used a lot when I was just starting out on my journey is to remind myself that I am literally 1 in 7.5 billion. You are the only you, and I know that sounds really freaking cheesy, but it's so true. So just embrace that and remember that you are the only you. Okay, so what comes next? After you make that first baby step, self-acceptance, you are officially on the road to self-love. You have started your journey. A self-love journey isn't a journey of finding yourself and trying to discover who you really are. It's a returning to yourself and who you were born as. It's an unlearning of everything that we have been taught and inundated with through our culture over the years. And it's just a shedding of all of those negative beliefs that we have taken in as little sponges and that we have just made into our own. I know it seems like a lot. We have a lot to unlearn that has been taught and ingrained in us through the media and through society and culture, but we can break it down into little baby steps, and through those little baby steps it becomes a lot easier to make this into a healthy practice that becomes second nature to us, that we don't have to think about too much, that we just embody and that we become. So to take it in small steps, you can pick one thing a month that you want to improve upon yourself, one small self-love action that you want to invite more into your life, and you can practice that until it becomes more of a habit, until it becomes more natural to you to just do that. The wonderful thing about your self-love journey is there's no wrong actions. Any positive action towards yourself is part of your journey, but these are just some actions that I've learned over the years work really well for me, so I thought I would share them with you guys. Journaling, meditating, practicing mindful gratitude, mindful movement as well. This can be exercise, dance, walking, whatever makes you feel good. Moving your body is so healthy for us and so good for us and really helps ground into your body. Taking dates by yourself, like I took myself on a date to the park. I'm gonna go walk around and take pictures of flowers, and I'm really excited about it. I also like to buy myself flowers and to buy myself nice dinners sometimes, so don't forget to date yourself as well. The relationship that we have with ourselves is the only lifelong commitment we will ever have. It is our longest relationship, and it should be our most rewarding and fulfilling relationship as well. We are taught to constantly doubt ourselves and to be at war with ourselves, but we aren't born with that thought. That is something we absorb and that we're taught. We are all born loving ourselves so unashamedly and so authentically, and we can come back to that. So your self-love journey is just a mission back to yourself, who you were born as, so that you can cultivate the best, juiciest, most fulfilling relationship of your life. And there is no wrong way to do this journey. It is yours, so you can choose how you want to do it and how best serves you. And that's all I have for you guys today. If you found this video really helpful and informative and you liked the message that I shared with you, please consider subscribing below and hitting the bell so you get notified. Yeah, that's all. Take care, guys.